All right, so Pauper Tron. I'd like to start by commenting that I am aware that there are a lot of different iterations of Tron in this format. And I looked through a bunch of them, and the one that I ended up picking was this one that has 4 Stonehorn Dignitary. So this card says when it enters the battlefield, target opponent skips their next combat step. And then we have 4 copies of Ghostly Flicker here, which exiles 2 artifact and or creatures you control and then returns them to the battlefield. And then Ghostly Flicker, along with Mnemonic Wall. Mnemonic Wall says when it enters the battlefield, return an instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. So you could basically flicker Wall plus Stonehorn Dignitary to lock them out of combat steps. You can flicker Wall plus Mulldrifter to keep drawing 2 cards. You can flicker Wall plus Horror to bounce a card to their hand to make them discard a card. So lots of really obnoxious things you can do with Ghostly Flicker in this deck. Someone said, is this a deck that you can risk timing out with? Yeah, this deck definitely is going to have some long games. So this might be, depending on how quickly these go, if we're winning, there's a good chance this is probably only going to be a 3-match set. Just because usually I play each deck for about 90 minutes or so. And there's a non-zero chance that 3 matches with this, if we're winning, take longer than that. Well, I have no opinions on Pauper Tron decks. I just kind of looked at a bunch of stuff and picked the one out that looked the most amusing for me. This is a rough start. I guess we'll keep these 4. Or are these 5? I too have strong opinions on Tron decks, but only when I'm playing against them. Yep. Blue-red Delver, blue-red Kiln Fiend. Might be dead real quick. 1/2 for 2. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this gets +3 attack until end of turn. Pauper is a format full of powerful cantrips. Alright, well. We have Tron next turn. So if we get a next turn, we get to go Prism into Filter for white, cast Stonehorn Dignitary. So we've got that going for us here. There's a good chance we die from 16 here, though, I bet. Any other instant or sorcerer's lethal here? Alright, chat, I have a very important task for all of you that are going to be here for a little bit. I need to remember to submit my fandom deck by 1 p.m. Central Time. So please remind me to do that. Moment's Peace sounds great here. Pulse does not seem particularly good. Hydroblast sounds great. Do they have blue threats as well? They tend to have blue threats as well, right? So I think some Pyroblasts are probably good. Prohibit, Dispel, Teaching seem a little slow. Horror's probably slow. And probably just kill them with 2/2s. Yeah, they do usually play Delvers. Never drop the Pulse. Okay. Can I trim these maps? Yep, yeah, everything ends up on YouTube, AJ. Hey, Mr. Silicon, thanks for 31 months. The fandom event doesn't actually get played till tomorrow, though, so decklists are due 24 hours in advance. How is this deck? This archetype looks to have a lot of variation in it. And there's a lot of different top results posted with this archetype. So I assume it's at least somewhat okay. I don't know. If Prohibit was really important for stopping whatever they were going to do on 2, I'd probably be playing more than one of it. It's also possible I want to split the Hydroblast and Pyroblast postboard. What am I playing tomorrow? I think I'm playing Sultai Flash. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't submitted my deck yet because if the Sultai Kefnet deck goes well today, I might play that instead. Haven't decided yet. You know, I should have waited. I guess if I wait to play this, they could daze my Prism. Daze is banned? Oh, that's good to know. What a weird format. Daze is banned, but Counterspell is legal. That tells you how long it's been since I've played Pauper. I'm gonna evoke this and then pulse it back, I think. And this is why you stack it, so you draw before you evoke. So that way you have a chance to draw your card that flickers it. Dispel is pretty good. His Moment's Peace will buy us a little bit of time here. Also have Hydroblast for that, which is nice. I want to Hydroblast this on my turn. So that way, if they have a counterspell, this doesn't get bigger from it. Apostle's Blessing, sure. So I have 8 mana. We Pulse of Murasa, our Mulldrifter back. Hoping to dodge a Dispel here. And then I think I'm supposed to play this. Or am I supposed to just hold up Moment's Peace this turn? I feel like I'm supposed to play it because they can't Rebit this turn. If I die next turn, I'm pretty sad though. It might be right to just like hold up double Moment's Peace. Not 100% familiar with, like, the burst velocity of my opponent's deck, but I gotta imagine them I'm tapping with. Kiln Fiend is pretty scary on average. They have Flaring Pain, so peace is not even a guarantee. Alright, if that's the case, I definitely want to just play Mulldrifter. So, like, try and get my block on. Thanks for the heads up. Stream Decker should now be updated. Am I dead? Dead to bolt, right? Yep. Would 35 be good to see a standard deck today? To cut a brand new deck into today's queue, it is a $100 donation. To bump a deck that is further down in the queue up into today's queue, it is a $50 donation. To get your deck to the top of tomorrow's queue is much less than that. And again, the cost of cutting into the line is expensive to discourage people from doing it. Because in general, I'd prefer to not have my schedule disrupted what I set up from the previous day, but I'm also not one to not take your money if you really don't want to wait. And we died. And we died. There's no guarantee even if we pass with a double moments piece up there. We live though. You should post your Arcbo list, Trax. I would like a link, please. Well, the good news is we might get to more than 3 matches if it's just me getting dumpstered. I have no idea what Rhystic Circle does, so it's difficult for me to miss it. This is our second time playing Pauper recently. I've got 3 more Pauper decks after this one in the queue. We're going to play through all of those. And after we play through them, we'll reassess my feelings on the format as well as what the viewer metrics look like. And if both of those are favorable, we'll probably add it into the regular rotation. Yeah, the spells good, threats bad composition of Pauper is a weird mix I'm not sure how I feel about. I am in fact a sellout shill. I'm just a big fan of organization and consistency, so if you want me to be disorganized for your convenience, it's gonna cost you money. Dollar bills, y'all. It's another matchup where we're just gonna die. It feels like it's gonna be another matchup where we just die, right? Because like my things that stop them from attacking us don't really do much here. Hey, Bizzle, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. There's only 3 Night Pack Ambusher in this deck. That makes me so sad. That's the best card in your deck. Had to throw you a sub, got out a gold for the first time, a slightly modified version of your feather deck, and feeling grateful for it. Well, congrats! And thanks for the support. Hope your Wednesday is treating you well. I would love another land. My opponent missed a land drop, which implies they have at least 3 spells in their hand right now. And every one of their spells is doing an extra point of damage, because whenever they cast an instant or sorcery, they untap this thing. We do have 4 copies of Hydroblast in our sideboard, as well as 3 Lone Missionary. So I assume post-board this gets better for us, but seems a little bit rough overall. White Smith Mode, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. Yeah, Ceratops is really sweet. There's a lot of people playing Mono Blue, among other things out there. Yeah, Pauper has Hydroblast and Rib. And Pyroblast. I'm not sure if the Elemental Blasts are legal, but Pyroblast and Hydroblast are definitely legal. Well, we just died on turn 4. Are we sure this is Pauper and not Modern? Anybody know? What format did we log into again? I feel like I might have logged into the wrong format. I probably don't want an extra copy of this. You want me to trim walls? Like, I want to trim Stonehorn Dignitary. I feel like I trim Ghostly Flickers before I trim walls here. Because, like, if I'm trimming walls too by Ghostly... I guess I'm bringing in Lone Missionary for Ghostly Flicker. Yeah, it's probably fine. Yeah, going infinite with Flicker for value is probably not something that's super meaningful here. And, like, one of the tough things about learning a new format is, especially because I don't know, like, have a good resource for, like, knowing what's good and what's bad, is it's hard for me, it's basically impossible, not even hard, just impossible for me to know, like, when we're getting beat up in these games, like we got beat up yesterday, like, am I getting beat up because I'm unlucky, because I'm making bad decisions, or am I losing these games because my deck just isn't good? And, like, without having more experience in the format, it's basically impossible to know the answer to which of those things is happening. Yep, yeah, Missionary is definitely going to trade with this Gitu if I get the option to. If I draw, like, Ghostly Flicker, I'm a little bit sad that I did that, but getting in some more damage saved there seems valuable. That is excellent. That'll let us kill their Thermo Alchemist. The beginning of Enchanted Player's upkeep, this deals 1 damage to them. Yikes. Ooh. All right, I'm gonna leave the Alchemist in play for a turn here. And do this. So, when a card changes zones in Magic, it counts as a new instance of that card. So basically, when this leaves play and comes back in, it counts as a new Mulldrifter and it's no longer being sacrificed to evoke. And this card is really powerful and has Rebound, so it gets to come back and blink something again next turn to draw more cards. Yeah, Pauper Tron is like is a value control deck, Bob. Alright, so I can play a land here. Gonna Hydroblast this Storko. Now, I think I Hydroblast their creature, because I don't really have a lot of answers to their creature in my deck overall. And, the creature is dealing multiple damage to me per turn. Yeah, but I have a black source. Trinket Mage is basically a black source with the Astrolabe. So then next turn, I have 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. Smash, rude. So let's get this horror down, I think. They're choked on mana. So I want to put this curse back in their hand. This also puts a 4/4 into play for me. So this bounces their card, makes them discard a card. I need to hit them for 5. And then we have a lot of things in our deck that gain life. And I get a draw with this. I get 2 draws with this. I get a draw step next turn. Hydroblast also give me like reasonable tools. I got a bunch of ghostly flickers for redraws. So pretty good chance we win this game, I think. Opponent's stuck on 2 lands, and we've got a lot of power in play at this point. We're going to see a lot of cards next turn. And I'm on a 2-turn clock, and we're still at 10. I suppose they have like a powerful draw with like Pyroblast we could got from here, but outside of Pyroblast, I feel like we're doing okay. Silly opponent. Didn't realize the Dirty Tron player always has a second tower. Oh. So, I'm technically missing 4 points of damage here. I should have attacked before doing this, but I got excited that I drew Ghostly Flicker. So, I apologize. I got excited that I drew Ghostly Flicker. So this is putting them to 8, so I still have lethal on board regardless. So I think I'm supposed to do this and evoke this Mulldrifter to try and hit like a Dispel or a Hydroblast here. Which I did not, unfortunately. So we could die here. We're at 8. Just go like 3 us, Pyroblast us, kill us. They also just go like 3, 3, 3. Yep. So, feels a lot like Modern. My deck's really sweet and it's doing stuff, and then I died to the burn deck. Then I died to the burn deck. Yep, burn is also good versus Tron and Modern. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Notably, our Stonehorn Dignitaries are really bad there too, right? So, like, this is like one of the anti-aggro tools we're playing in our main deck, and we had to sideboard them out here because the burn deck's not really attacking us directly. It's like using the stack mostly. It'll be interesting to see how the Pauper videos do on YouTube overall. Our viewer count right now is not that dissimilar to when we were playing Underlords, which is to say that it's low. Lower than the Modern stuff we had yesterday when we did that second. Yeah, the way this deck is constructed, it feels like it's making a choice. It's made a choice to like be good against the decks that are like attacking, as opposed to like with a burn deck where it's working on the stack. I feel like this learning Pauper is gonna be like a super experience and the reminder that like mediocre decks 5-0 and do well in tournaments all the time. Because, like, so far it feels like 2 for 2 on playing an archetype where we're just like, well, this doesn't seem like this archetype is very good, but it posted a result. It's another burn deck. We get a do-over. All right, we have natural Tron. Yeah, exactly, Bob. How's Tron doing? Absolutely horribly. We are just getting dumpstered. My opponent's missing a land drop here, but what that actually means is they currently have... What this means is they currently have 6 spells in their hand, and we're at 14. And what do you want to bet their 6 spells deal more than 14 damage? I'd bet their 6 spells deal more than 14 damage. We are drawing a lot of cards while we die. We do have that going for us. All right, we found a Prohibit. That's not a terrible pickup. T Hui, thank you for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Oh, you know what? This was a missequence. I should have cast this off of Urza's tower so I could play the expedition map this turn too. So Tron and Pauper is an interactive control deck. It's different. It's different than in what's it called? In Modern. So we're looking for Dinrova Horror at this point, basically, right? So we can start bouncing their land. So these things come back. I get to keep going through my deck. Stonehorn Dignitary is not very useful. Got 2 horrors in my main deck here. Alright, so we're gonna... Let's do this. Evoke this. We'll draw 2. In response to the evoke trigger, we'll ghostly flicker these. Listen, we might be about to die here, but at least we're gonna die happy with cards in our hand, okay? Gosh, where are my horrors at? Good golly. Where are all my horrors, chat? Where are all of the horrors? I don't understand. I don't understand. Probably don't need a second Mnemonic Wall. Now this this Prohibit on the back of Flicker and Wall. Maybe I should have kept the other wall. If I'd have kept the other wall, I could have, like, flickered to pick back up 2 instants and sorcerer. Let's just be reuse my Prohibit over and over again, which seems appealing. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and draw 4 here. And, like, try and hit this horror so I can keep them off of... So I can keep them off of their whatever here. I'm going to play Wall and pick Flicker up. The opponent's been unfortunate to not draw another land. We've also been struggling here a little bit, though. So let's do that. Yeah, I definitely should have kept the other wall. So I might have been able to assemble like a Prohibit lock. Pulse of Murasa is a good game draw here as well, while our opponent fumbles around. Would like Wall to pick back up Ghostly Flicker, please. Dispel's not a bad draw. So I have 6, 10, 14, 15 mana total here. So I can go this. Evoke, Mulldrifter. Draw 2. Response to the evoke trigger. Flick these 2. Pick the flicker back up. So we hit another flicker here. They're at 9. I have 2, 4, 6. I guess I just play this Mulldrifter, huh? That puts lethal into play. Or 17 lands left in my deck. I don't believe they can kill us here since we have the Dispel. Because their lethal line from here involves a Pyroblast, and Pyroblast is an instant. Morning Spank. Searing Blaze. I'm going to go ahead and counter the Searing Blaze, otherwise it kills my threat. We have lethal in play right now. I have no idea. I don't have strong opinions or feelings on anything regarding this deck. I do not have the experience with which to speak to authority on things involving Pauper decks. Our opponent got stuck on 1 land, and we got going, and looks like we're going to steal this first game. Which is pretty impressive considering we never drew our horror or Pulse of Murasa, so it's nice that they gave us a chance. The old opponent has no permanence in play. Get him to 0. Thank you, Pyroblast, I guess. Alright, and post board, we do get a lot better here. It wasn't good enough to win the last game match post board, but Hydroblast and Lone Missionary. Honestly, I think this Dinrova Horror is probably fine. Just for the sake of having a 4/4 that attacks. Like, having a way to close the game out seems pretty important. Link Reach from Wall because it doesn't attack. The Stonehorn Dignitary because they're not really attacking us in combat. Moment's Peace. Yeah, some of these decks play multiple Pulse of Murasa. I think Teachings is good enough because it gets things like Pulse. Yeah, maybe. How do you feel? Is Teachings better than a Wall? Teachings might be better than a Wall. I can see that. Let's do that. Are you suggesting I trim more of my top end? If so, what should I be bringing in out of the sideboard? You think like Compulsive Research is better than one of these 5 or 6 drops? No, attacking, having a 4/4 to attack with seems pretty important. Easy mulligan here. All right, we're on 5 cards. I guess we keep. So again, card breaker, it's not just I can cut these cards from my deck. So looking at my sideboard here, which of these cards do you feel are better than the cards that I've kept in my deck, and why do you think they're better than my cards? Sideboarding is a one-to-one process. Do you think Moment's Peace or Stonehorn Dignitary are meaningful cards here? If so, why? Do they have more creatures that they generally attack with than I've been seeing? Because, like, well, I'm sure they have some things that attack. It doesn't seem like they have many. Tron. To get my Mulldrifter on next turn. What's they? Molten Rain me. Just Tron things. Rude. I don't know. I feel like people who play this style of deck generally undervalue the ability to kill their opponent. Especially in matchups like this where it's really important. Yeah, we can still Mulldrifter even through that, right? We might be done on the run tap. Ghostly Flicker can blink Prophetic Prism, which is sweet. So we'll use this as a draw 3 here in a second. So far this deck seems pretty middling against the aggressive decks. It's our 3rd match, and we're 0-2 at the moment. We're up a game here, but our opponent missed their 2nd land drop for 80 turns in the first game. If this Ghostly Flicker finds us stuff to do, we might be okay. Flick Tower? No, I think drawing an extra card is more important than flicking Tower here. Neither of those are Hydroblast. That's sad. I guess if I play this, and if this draws Hydroblast, I can cast it off of this. And if it doesn't, I can filter this to Snow Mana and play this Astrolabe. Lone Missionary, alright. Well, if we get to untap, we probably win. Every one of their spells is a +1 damage kicker on it now, so there's a chance we don't get to untap here. Survey says. Read it out. Read it out. Do 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 do. All right, attack for 3. Get my flicker on. Flick these. Is this stabilization? All right. All right. By the grace of Lone Missionary and fading a draw step from the opponent, we have bested burn. We did have turn 3 Tron. We mulled to 5 this game too, right? Had turn 3 Tron. What if I told you I was going to play this wall and ghostly flicker my Lone Missionary over and over and over again? Tron mulling to 5 and winning. Name a more iconic combo. Yep. Yep. All right. All right, we're on the scoreboard, chat. We're on the scoreboard. Don't call it a comeback. Maybe we can slog it out here. Slow and steady. Alas, our Lord and Master Karn is not legal in Pauper. Today's snack is chocolate almond chip chunks of energy. I don't know. That's something that I picked up off the shelf at Hy-Vee that taste reasonable. Not the worst. So Ash Barrens kind of grabs Power Plant. Ash Barrens got an island, which casts Trinket Mage, which casts Expedition Map, which gets to what we want. So in a roundabout way, the Ash Barrens got there. It took the scenic route, but it found its way over. We're playing against a control deck, maybe? Yeah, so far the Stonehorn Dignitaries have been aggressively mediocre. We got attacked a lot yesterday, but today we've not been assaulted nearly as much. I plan to get more reps in with Sultai Flash Day before the event tomorrow. Nah. The Sultai Kefnet deck we're going to play today, I could see maybe playing that instead of the Flash deck, so we're going to play that. But if the Sultai Flash deck feels bad, we'll probably just register the Flash deck as is. Cast Divination here. Evoke Mulldrifter. I mean, I'm never really on or off of anything. Day. Like I don't really play competitive Magic anymore. It's mostly just events that I can play from home. So like I haven't liked a modern deck enough to like go to a competitive modern tournament in a really long time. Actually, so let's filter this to white. Blink this, grab another Astrolabe, cantrip it. My hand doesn't do a whole lot right now. Yeah, digging for decks for Pauper has like really taught me the importance of like a website like mine, where like someone who like actually knows the formats has hand cultivated and picked deck lists for archetypes, so people can like pull up the website and like know, oh, I want to play Green Tron. What does Jeff think is a good Green Tron deck? Instead of like having to go to MTG Goldfish and like scroll at random and like pick one and then like possibly have a bunch of Stonehorn Dignitaries in the deck. And like be kind of annoyed that I have these Stonehorn Dignitaries that are just awful in my deck now. What are the best decks? If you want to see what some of the decks that I think are the best decks in Modern, that website I was just talking about, you can go over there and click Modern Decks and click the Proven category. They killed my only dork, so I lost my rebound. That's a little sad. there's a Mulldrifter in my bin. Try and get that back. Evoke. Spider Monkey, thanks for the 10 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. The person who asked how much Pauper I've played recently, I'm going to make a command for that really quick. Well, the good news is, I think we finally found a matchup that's, like, really good for us. Like, this kind of... I feel like our deck is capable of generating more value than the opponent's deck can keep up with on average. Archaeomancers, that's going to get a counterspell back, sure. Horror is pretty good here. So make blue, make black... Play this, bounce one of your lands, make you discard a card. Oh, this is actually really gross because I get to Mnemonic Wall. So this is something we haven't gotten to do yet because we haven't been playing against other control decks, but like, now I get to Ghostly Flicker my Horror and my Wall here. No, never apologize for asking the same question. It's on me, honestly, for not having made a command yet. I definitely should have made a command. Streaming is often just answering the same questions over and over and over again. So making commands for ones that you expect people to ask is important. I don't know. The gameplay patterns are interesting. We've been losing a lot, and part of the frustrating part of learning a new format is it's difficult for me to know, like, am I losing because my decks are bad, because I'm playing bad, because I'm running bad? It's, like, difficult for me to, like, accurately assess, like, why the outcomes of my matches are what they are. Which I've got five decks total that we're gonna play through for Pauper. That gives me a little bit larger sample size to work on. We'll give some thoughts on it all after that's all done. Do I want all my Hydroblasts and all my Pyroblasts here? You probably don't want to Hydroblast anything they have. That's fair. That's fair. Maybe I just don't board these. And I need 4 cuts, so... I probably mostly care about their counterspells, right? Like, their red cards are mostly removal, and I don't really care about their removal. This seems relatively clean. Yeah, except maybe for Hydroblasting their Pyroblast. And I have Prohibit and Dispel. So I think this is fine. I think I like this. And the fact that they probably have 4 Pyroblasts makes me maybe want some of these, but I don't know that I really have anything that I want to cut for this in my deck right now. Like, all the cards I have in here seem pretty reasonable on the surface. Let's just run it. Like I said, I think if I had to venture a guess, I would imagine that this style of matchup is pretty favorable for us. Is it better than Dispel? I don't think so. Because Dispel also counters their counters. Yo, dog. Yeah, this hand's fine. I'm gonna ditch the wall for now. Pretty far off of that one doing anything. Yeah, I definitely want all 4 Pyroblast. The question was if these Hydroblasts were worth slotting in. Yeah, eight's not bad. 800 to 1,000 is like my normal-ish moto numbers in the mornings, so it's a good sign. We're still having the normal build-up that I have when we do Modern. Is it Boilerworks? That card's real bad against Horror. It's a double land tier, so when it gets bounced, it feels doubly bad. I mean, if games are going long, that's probably more of a reason. I don't really care about that. If the games are going long, that's more of a reason to keep teachings in my deck. Just because, like, I'm gonna get to the point where I can, like, play and flash it back and get a 2-for-1 out of it. I play a lot of Pauper, and I find that Hydroblasts are not very good in this matchup. They're only useful. They're really only useful in counter wars, and are board 1 to 2 at most, depending on what cuts you have to make. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think if I want them, it's only a couple, and I'm not sure that the ones that I have are better than the other things I already have in my deck. Hey, thanks for the 17 months, Iggy. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I just want to hit my land drops here, even if they're not more Tron pieces. I had a Marauding Raptor in play, and a Registrar come into play, and before the token came in, they Noxious Grashed the Reggie, and only 1 pump went onto the Raptor, and only the token took 2 damage. Did the Reggie not come into play? So, the Marauding Raptor trigger depends on dealing damage to something in order to get the bonus. So if your dinosaur dies in response to the Raptor trigger, when the Raptor trigger resolves, it has nothing to deal damage to. So you can't deal damage to a creature that's like gone to your graveyard. Yeah, I do think this card's really sweet in this deck. The Stonehorn Dignitaries have been pretty lackluster in what we've played so far, but the Horrors have felt sweet. Alright, so there's a Teachings. Does Teachings really help me get anywhere? I think I'm just evoking this Mulldrifter. It'll just try and hit land drops. Yeah, and there's a Pyroblast. I have to just work our way through those. It's gonna be a lot of 1/1s. You need Stonehorns against Pauper Boggles. I can see that. Like, we're like 6 matches or 7 matches into our Pauper experience and haven't played against that deck. So, like, playing 4 Stonehorn Dignitaries in our main deck so you can have it against 1 matchup seems kind of loose. Like, if this format is actually diverse, like, playing narrow cards like that seems bad. Let's shoot this so they can't Snapcaster back a Pyroblast. Meaning Hydroblasted, Dispelled, yep. Feels like the noose is closing in here. They do only have two points of power total though, so. Yeah, this build has 4 copies of Stonehorn Dignitary in the main deck. And this is just like one of those. I just like looked through all the lists that like had 6-0'd and 5-1'd the Pauper weeklies or whatever they are for the last couple of weeks and just like picked one that looked like it had things that I liked. Bajuka Bog. That's rude. Glad my teaching wasn't in there yet. So they have a Pyroblast that I know about. I'm just taking the Pyroblast here. Getting Seagate Oracle into play, like, cuts their clock in half, which is nice. Assuming they don't have a removal spell here. But if they spend a removal spell on my Seagate Oracle, that's kind of a win for us. This Teachings is probably fetching up Dispel, so I can try and force one of these horrors through their Pyroblast. Should submit Pauper Elves, it's a fun deck. I have a couple of Dealer's Choice decks that I need to pick out things for when they get to the top of the queue. We have two Dealer's Choice submissions. I got Mono Red Aggro and then 2 more Dealer's Choice that I need to pick out things for. Bounce. I would like to counter your divination. I do like Ghostly Flicker. If I'm being honest, part of the reason I picked this configuration of Tron was because it was one of the ones playing 4 Ghostly Flickers. There isn't a page on... There isn't details on that page about specifically Pauper decks, because I'm still not 100% sure where we're going to end up at with it. But my plan for Pauper decks is that it'll be $25 to submit them, just like Modern, because it cost me $10 to play a Pauper League. And Moto is still Moto, so there has to be a little bit of a surcharge for Moto compared to the elegance that is Arena. Yeah, relevant Magic-related links are always welcome in Checkmate. Jet rules. Jet rules are pretty simple. Act like an adult, you'll be treated like an adult. Act like a child, you'll be given a timeout like a child. I'm gonna go ahead and just flicker here and end a turn. If they want to burn their Pyroblast on this, they're welcome to burn their Pyroblast on this. If they don't, I get to draw 2 cards. I usually start Magic Arena about 11 a.m. every day. So that's about, it's about 40 minutes from now. Cornfield time. I don't think my wife tweeted out the cornfield picture. So we've always, that is not true, Jerry. Not the slightest, but you do the answer to that. We've always joked about, like, me living in and around the cornfields. And since we moved in January, there's literally a cornfield behind my house now. And it's grown up nice and tall this summer. Does it become a mazer on Halloween? I don't think so. Although there is a farm near us that does a corn maze every year. I think I'm just letting this happen. So unfortunately, I can't flash back this mystical teachings. I was really hoping to draw a land there. I guess I can kick the Prohibit at least next turn. You know, I'm just like so choked on mana then I'm going to counter this. Like, I know it's not super high impact, but if I draw another land next turn, I'm just going to start slamming these horrors or flashing back mystical teachings. So I feel like just, like, spending my mana this turn is valuable, and trading 1 for 1 is fine. It was good, Jerry. This was, they live in Florida, so they come up here for a couple of months every summer. And, this was our first time seeing the house since we moved in January. Yeah, Prohibit works exactly like Fatal Push does. Which spell? Which spell did you want to cast again, you stuttered opponent? I believe they're near Fort Myers, if I recall. It's been a while since I've been down to Florida to visit them there. All right, if we hit a land here, we get to horror their Boiler Works back to their hand. If we hit a Tron piece, yeah, Pulse is live now. And they have 0 cards. They have 0 cards left. No, if I horror their Boiler Works goes to their graveyard. This card currently reads kill target permanent, because they have no cards in hand. Maybe I'm supposed to... Yeah, I think actually I made a mistake. I think I was supposed to Ghostly Flicker as Divination here. I keep forgetting that I can target whatever with this. Yeah, I'd have hit the Tron piece too. Yikes. Definitely should have done that. This format is basically modern, isn't it? It's basically play Tron piece, instant concession. We have assembled Exodia. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Yeah, I know they weren't doing a whole lot. Their mid-range control deck conceded to us assembling Tron. News at 11. Sure. Yeah, exactly, Bob. We lost to people attacking us with burn spells and combo kills, and like the control deck conceded to us assembling Tron, which is like normally I'd consider both of those things like peak modern. The details are different, but Tron gonna Tron. Oh no, is it a Tron mirror match, chat? I don't wanna experience the Tron mirror. I'm young, don't take my innocence away. Dark Inferno coming in hot with that brand new Prime Sport. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. I'll take supporting Brian this month with that. And again, we played 5 out of 5 games in this league, where 5 out of 5 matches in this league where Stonehorn Dignitary was just awful. I think I'm just gonna take the cantrip here rather than the Prohibit. If you think there's a reason to take Prohibit in the Tron mirror, please make your case in chat. All right, so they're gonna have Tron next turn. The question is, do they have a Dinrova Horror to mess us up? Whatever that card's called. Let's evoke this bad Mamma Jamma. Blink it. Yep. Bonus just like, you keep turtling there, big boy. We're gonna bounce your lands every turn for the rest of the game. Yikes. Alright. Astrolabe basically just being 1 mana Prism is really sweet in this archetype. All right, that bodes well for our heroes so far. None of those are horror. All right, so we found a horror. That's a map. I guess I just play the map. On the map, on the map, on the map, on the map, on the map. It's the map, it's the map, it's the map, it's the map, it's the map. We did find Stonehorn Dignitary. You are not wrong. I'm unfortunately 1 short of horroring them. Condescend. Rude. Rude. At least what I'm discarding for the turn is an easy decision. Divination resolves. Decking feels like it's going to be a real possibility in this matchup. I feel like I want to try and hit some land drops here. That is an excellent land drop to hit. Now the question I have to ask myself is, do I want to wait a hot second to... I think because I have this teachings, I'm going to wait a hot second to start jamming these horrors. We'll just cantrip a little bit here, and then we'll get teaching set up to get some protection. Then we'll start forcing them through. Yep, divination resolves. Now the goal here is to set up a turn where we get the horror through and then blink it so we can take them off of Tron. I believe is the goal. I'm gonna grab Dispel here. I have actually tracks. In fact, the Sultai Kefnet deck that we're going to be playing next is a 4X drawn from Dreams deck. I'm going to go ahead and pick this wall back up here. It makes me, it's like a balanced dig through time basically, right? Please, like, prohibit me or something, or condescend me. Sure. Your flicker resolves. Oh, they blinked their land? Okay, that makes sense. I was like, why didn't they draw a card? So if they condescend this, I have 14 mana next turn. I can just double horror them and take them off 2 Tron pieces. And then hopefully we can start blinking horror every turn to keep them. Yeah, sweet. All right, so we do this. And we cast this. And we return a Tron piece to your hand. And then we do it again. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's like the game right there. Yeah, this is basically, we basically just carded their lands. I could have attacked with these 2 and gotten 1 through, but I think that's the end of it. Because like they're basically never gonna have Tron again for the rest of this game. Yeah, that's fine. You have a Stonehorn Dignitary. Enjoy. This is the last match with Pauper Tron. Opponent has conceded from the game. We're gonna Karn 2 more of your lands. Opponent is also playing the same deck as us, and they understand the direction in which this is heading. Alright, Stonehorn's out, Moment's Peace out, Devrana out. Shattering Pulse might be okay. Pyroblast is absurd. I feel like I might want a Hydroblast or 2 just to counter their Pyroblasts. I feel like that's not unreasonable, but again, similar to the blue-red control deck, I feel like looking at my deck here, I don't really have anything that I actively want to cut to make that happen, so I guess I'm just running it back. Tron is called Tron to pay homage to the children's cartoon Voltron because you assemble your 3 Urza's lands together and gain immense power. Yeah, they could have Rolling Thunder. That's true. I don't know. I have Pulse. I have Pulse, and like, if I get my horrors going, that's not going to be a worry anyways. Yeah, 5 mana is a lot for Shattering Pulse to do that, though. And like, with having 4 Astrolabe and 4 Prism, I feel like taking them off their colors is pretty unlikely a lot of the time. Dude Light, thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub. Hope your Wednesday is finding you well. Thanks for the half a year of support. We'll cycle this Ash Barrens to grab a snow-covered island. We'll drop that into play. Start casting our cantrips. Or we'll play that and then play this and hopefully hit our tower. Tower of Power! Wow, never lucky. Hashtag never lucky. You can do a standard build around, Dude Light, for sure. Standard build arounds are 25, which is included in tier 3 subs. Oh no. Oh no, they have a map, chat. Yikes. If they have a fast horror here, we're probably just dead. They're basically like turn 4 carning us while they're on the play. It's not a good scene for the home team. Both teams tried their hardest, really. Oh, I don't even think that's a question, Wahalo there. I think across of all of Twitch, there's definitely been more subs timed out on this channel than any other channel. It's probably not particularly close. Hey, RM Cody, thank you for the quarter of your support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. You are at 79, Kuntz. How many mods do we have? I don't actually know the answer to that question. I don't actually know if this hand is good. I think this channel is ahead of all others combined. Maybe not all others combined. Twitch is pretty big. It's a pretty large platform in general. Oh no, we're getting condescended, chat. Oh no. Oh no. That's probably not a metric that they have accessible on their stats, sick. I'd be pretty surprised. Tron piece. I mean, that's like Tron piece adjacent, right? Trinket Mage gets the map, gets the Tron piece. Pauper's a weird mix. It's like, I did see some lists playing Forbidden Alchemy. That card's really sweet. I loved this card when it was in Standard. 7 mana flashback's my jam. Arena does not have Standard Pauper. Occasionally it does, but it's not a format that's always available. So, I think I'm actually going to do this and then play my land tier, because just having 3 mana off of the other thing, off the tower, isn't relevant. I'd like to hold up Dispel this turn. Yeah, the Grixis Shadow list on my site's current. Pretty much all the lists on my site are current. If there's something that needs to be changed, I make the updates, even if we don't necessarily play the deck in a league. The goal of the website is all those pages are living pages, and I make updates as they need them. Alright, they have 6 cards in their hand, but they're not doing anything. I guess they're going to flashback Forbidden Alchemy this turn. Okay. Or cast Mystical Teachings. They got Capsize. I can't quite cast that one yet. The fact that I never found a Prism in this hand has made it pretty awkward. Hey, Raver Rat. Well, we're actually going to play Sultai Fish Through Time, Joan Mode. I played a couple of matches with a straight blue-black build off stream last night, and I was not happy with it being just blue-black. Not having access to good removal like Assassin's Trophy feels really bad. We don't have Capsize because it's very similar to the Horror, and I think the Horror is just better. The fact that horror gives board presence is a big deal. Feels like because I never found a way to make my colors, we're kind of just dead here. How do I cast Pulse? Yeah, I undervalued how important having a an artifact filter in our opening hand again was. Again, I feel like and this is again, it's kind of the frustrating part about learning a new format, is I feel like we're 2 for 2 on having deck lists that we've played where like the deck seems like it's certainly one of the reasonable decks in the format, but like the specific details in this deck that I played really just didn't feel very good. I understand Stonehorn Dignitary is going to be good in some matches in this format, but we like hit 5 out of 5 matches in this league where Stonehorn Dignitary was just awful and we boarded it out. And just like having 4 blanks in my main deck felt really, really bad. And like the fact that there's not a good place where I can go to like look up deck lists from someone who understands the format feels kind of frustrating. Like all these lists have been random, like 6-0, 5-1, 5-0 lists from the Pauper section on Goldfish, but bad decks and bad configurations of good decks do well in tournaments all the time. And I feel like we're 2 for 2 on getting bad configurations of good decks. Underlords is supposed to be putting out a balance patch on Thursday, Mr. Photon, so I think we're going to do Underlords on Friday this week. All right, we're going to slide along to some standard for the rest of the day. Remember, if you're someone who does enjoy Pauper, we're going to continue exploring it for 3 more decks later this month and possibly into next month. If you want to see more of this format on this channel, make sure you tell your friends to check out the YouTube VODs and all that jazz. Hey, Chef Seth, thanks for the support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, let's load up some arena, shall we? Do 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 do. Beep 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 do do. Do 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 do. All right, video games. Video games have audio. Audio. MTGO does technically have audio. You are not wrong. We played Blue Cavalier inside of Temur Vanafear, but the Temur Vanafear deck as a whole wasn't very good. So I don't know that it was a very good measure. Update the Stream Decker. Oh, I need to re-export this actually. Blue Cavalier brainstorming things back to the top of your deck to set up Kefnit's trigger is just kind of everything cheeky that I want to do in life. Pauper Tron seemed okay. The build of Pauper Tron that I had